should work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a quick video with one of our parents, and then we can talk quickly about the program.
My son's in elementary school. He loves jungle gyms and singing, and he's crazily physically active, and he's a great, happy little kid. My son has autism. He was diagnosed just before he turned 3 years old, and he's been in special education and getting disability services since. There was this presentation on this new program called CalABLE, which I'd never heard of before as a parent, and I was like, this is the best thing since sliced bread for disabled kids, and I've been telling people about it ever since. The most important thing for a parent of a disabled child to worry about is protecting their access to disability services. The thing about an ABLE account is it protects your child's access and eligibility for disability services, which would be devastating to lose if you didn't have them. The CalABLE account, it's a great savings vehicle, an investment vehicle that my child can access immediately. This is kind of step one for financial planning for my son, and it took, I think, 15 minutes or less to set it up. The best feature is the ability to ensure that my son will continue to be eligible for disability services when he's an adult. If you're eligible, you should be doing this today. We are CalABLE.
Okay, so I thought I would share that with you because you guys are all parents and definitely interested in the program. So I'm going to kind of run through these quickly for you. Just to let you know, we are a tax advantage savings and investment program designed for people with disabilities. And this is part of the federal law that was passed in 2014. CalABLE opened their doors in 2018. So we are a version of that, which is tailored specifically for the state of California. Right now, if somebody is on SSI, or if your children eventually may go on SSI, what's nice about the CalABLE account is anything that's put in the CalABLE account does not count towards their benefits. So we know that anyone on SSI has to have can't go over $2,000. So you can put money in these accounts and you can start saving for your children up until $100,000. And it's at that point you would need to decide if they're going to stay on SSI or if they can, go beyond that. So that's what's nice about these accounts is that you can actually start saving today and, that money can grow over time. Right now, and I think everyone qualifies for this, but the law is as long as your disability started before age 26, you're eligible to open these accounts. If you're on SSI or SSDI, you're automatically eligible. But if you're not on either one of those and your disability is in Social Security's list of compassionate allowances or the Blue Book listing, you can open that account as long as you have a letter signed from your physician. CalABLE does not require that because we are part of the federal law. If your account was audited, it would be from the IRS, similar to like if they were to audit our regular, finances. So we don't ask you for that, but we just recommend that you have that letter. These are my magic numbers that I tell everyone. $19,000 is what you can contribute this year, January through December. We talked about 100,000. It's only if you're going to be receiving SSI. If you're not going to be on SSI, you can actually contribute up to $529,000. At that point, you would not be able to make any additional contributions, but the account will continue to grow in earnings and things like that. If you do a spend down in either one of these categories, to keep it under the minimum, you can do that, and build it back up, but those are your magic numbers. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Social Security's Program Operation Manual System. We call it the POMS. But this is that website, and this is what Social Security uses for ABLE accounts. It tells them all the rules and regulations. So it's nice to have access to this in case somebody's from Social Security said that doesn't count or whatever. You've got the resource right here. So that is a nice thing to have for you. How you can contribute to these accounts. You can contribute several different ways. You can link this to your bank account. It is an online SIS program. So you can link it to your bank account. You can make reoccurring contributions. Let's say you want to just start building this slowly. Maybe you decide you're going to put $50 every month into your child's CalABLE account. You can just set it up one time and there it goes. We do also allow Social Security checks. So if anybody's receiving those, they can actually be directly deposited into the CalABLE account. I don't think anyone, we may have somebody who's working, but if you are working, you could have a direct deposit that way. Uh, you probably, if you're an authorized legal representative, if you wanted to have a portion of your paycheck put into your child's CalABLE account, I don't see why that would not be applicable here. But then you can always mail in a check the old-fashioned way. So that's how you would put money into the accounts. Um, this is another feature that we had that's really cool, and I know quite a few parents have started using this. It's our e-gifting option, and that's when you do have a CalABLE account, you set that up, you have a link, and then you can share that link with family and friends. So instead of having gifts for all your kids that they probably aren't going to play with forever, this is just a great way for them to start saving for their future. Similar to a college savings plan. So if anybody has college savings plans, those can actually be rolled over into a CalABLE account. And we're going to talk about how you can use your account in just a moment here. Which I got to, oh, not yet. These are we have 8 different portfolios. They are mutual funds. They have Fidelity, Schwab, and Vanguard as those combination funds. We have the FDIC insured portfolio, very similar to your savings account that you may have. And then however you would like to invest your money, starting with the income portfolio, that's bonds and money markets, and then those conservative down to growth combination of stocks and bonds, and that's really your choice. You can have, you can say you can combine these. You don't have to select one only. You can do multiple ways. Maybe you want to have some FDIC insured money, maybe because you want a little bit for cash, and then maybe you're going to do some long-term planning. Maybe you pick a growth. So it really is that decision of the account holder. I will let you know that the account holder is the beneficiary. So if the child right now, if you're managing it for your child, you are what we call the authorized legal representative. Yeah. And you would manage it for them, but when they would turn 18, it's actually technically their money. So they do, they could access the funds when you know, when you said that you didn't want to be their authorized legal representative anymore. We do have some fees, I would say they're competitive with the other ABLE accounts in the nation. We have an annual account maintenance fee of $30. And if you do just FDIC, there's an additional fee. That annual fee would be $38 if you had $3,000 in your account. If you were to add on the investment options, that goes up a little bit, $42 to $43. I do know we have some CalABLE account holders on here, so they might be able to talk a little bit more about the fees if you're truly interested, but it is based on the balance of the account at the time. So these come out quarterly. So in this example, we would say between $9 and $11 every quarter. Of course, if the account had more money, the fees would be a little bit higher. less money, it would be lower. Let me see. Oh, this is my favorite one. What you can spend your money on, and it's really anything that improves your health, independence, or quality of life. These buckets are what we get from Social Security. They aren't one and done, but they're just guides for us. So I talked a little bit about education. So you can, like I mentioned, if you've got college savings, you can roll that over into the CalABLE account. Why would you want to do that? Because it's going to give you a little more flexibility with those funds in case your child wasn't able to go to college. You can use it for, on so many other things. So it's not as restrictive as those college savings. Um, if you want to go on a vacation, I always get asked this question. You can definitely use your CalABLE account for that. Again, does this expense that you want to use your CalABLE account for, is it going to improve your health, independence, or quality of life? So I think we can all agree food would be there. If you needed any adaptive equipment, you could use it for that. Again, we talked about travel. Even if you had a caregiver that you needed, your that you needed to assist the account holder with, you could pay for their travel too. So it really is, anything. The question I mostly get is what can't I use it on? And that would be gambling. I think we can all agree on that one, and anything illegal. So it's really those two items that you really cannot use the money on. But it's, there is no guide that says you can only spend this much money on this particular item. It really is that definition. Does this improve your health, independence, or quality of life? As I said, CalABLE is not going to be looking at these accounts. We aren't going to be saying you can spend your money on this or that. That really is for you to monitor. And if it is going to be reviewed, just like the IRS could look at my finances, that they would be asking the same questions. So let's see. Prepaid card, it's a really nice feature that we have. What's nice about this is especially if you want to teach your child some financial management, money management, you could put money on this card. They could go and use it for whatever they would like to purchase. But then they do not have full access to the funds in the account. So that's what's kind of nice about the prepaid card. And the other thing is you can just take a picture of those receipts and upload them to the portal. So you don't even have to worry about keeping those receipts because you've already taken those pictures. How do I open my account? I'm going to play this real quick little video for you guys.
You can open an account online in about 20 minutes. It's so easy. You will need a few pieces of information to get started. Your email, your birthday, a social security number or a tax identification number, and contact details. And if you're an authorized legal representative, you'll need the same information as the beneficiaries plus your work status. Here's how quick the process is. Visit calable.ca.gov and click Open an Account. Click to begin your enrollment. And start your account with just a $25 contribution. And if you need help, there are people ready to walk you through it. Call 833-CalABLE, 833-225-2253.
Okay. This is our website, the calable.ca.gov. That's where you want to go to open the CalABLE account. As you heard in the video, it is very simple. Probably like opening up a checking account. It's really very simple to do. And if you have other languages that you speak, we do have this option now where when you go to open an account at the bottom of the screen, there says select your language. And we now have 20 different languages that you can complete your application in. The resources, again, that number is 833-225-2253. And this is our staff, our mighty staff of 4. Thomas Martin is our executive director. Myself, I'm Ann Osborne, the deputy executive director. Madeline Handy is our outreach, and Maria Sandoval is our Spanish person. So if you ever want someone speaking Spanish, we have that. This is our disclosure, just letting you know that there are risks involved to the different portfolios.